Hey guys, this is Tricker. Today we're going to go over the F-5 approach and landing tutorial. Today we have a straight-in approach as well as a normal 360-degree landing approach. The first one I'm going to demonstrate for you guys is the straight-in approach, which I find to be more practical on online servers. So we'll go ahead and get right into it. The first we're going to do is set the altimeter. Local altimeter is 2992. That's set. Make sure the fuel balance and crossfeed is off. You see the crossfeed is off. Auto balance is middle. Hydraulic pressure, we'll check that. Hydraulic pressure is in the green for the flight controls and utility. Engine anti-ice is as required, we'll leave it off, which is right here. The approach, we'll calculate that. So the way we calculate the V approach is we do a little formula here. You take 145 plus 5 if you're carrying ammo, which we are. That puts us at 150. Then you take your fuel remaining. So we have 1,300 pounds of fuel remaining. Minus 1,000, which comes out to 300. We'll divide that by 200, so it comes out to 1.5. So we'll add that on, so it comes out to 152 knots roughly. Navigation and approach briefing. It's just going to be a visual to 2-1 left, backed up by the TAC can. External lights as required. So we'll go ahead and turn on the beacon here, which is down here. Turn on the exterior lights, and we'll do the landing lights right here. Alright, you see 2-1 left is straight ahead, about 10 miles. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the power to idle. And the speed we're looking for is 260 knots, which is right here. The little yellow ticker mark, that's for your gear down speed. So as the aircraft slows, obviously we need to add some nose up trim to keep the nose from dipping down. Just waiting on the 260 knots. Alright, there's 260 knots. Here comes the gear. Gear's coming down. And then there's 3 green. When the gear went down, you also noticed that the flaps, they went to full, as you can see right here. So we're just slowing. And what you could do is you can set the index speed right here. So we'll put 152 knots in here, just to remind us that that's our approach speed. So before landing checklist, aux intake doors, they're open, which are right here. Landing gear down 3 green, and flaps are full. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and keep slowing here to 152 knots. As you can tell by the AOA indexer, we're fast right now. Now we're slightly fast. So we're just keeping a stable approach here as we approach the runway. Still slowing. And there's 152 knots for which we calculated. So I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of power so we can maintain that. Power for airspeed and elevator for pitch. So we want to maintain center line. Getting just a little fast, so slowing down just a little bit, just a tad on the power. Gonna start an easy flare. Keep the power in, and power comes to idle. And there's a nice touchdown. Speed brakes are deployed. Maintain center line. And we'll deploy the chute with the Papa key. So the chute is deployed. So we'll let it roll out. You don't want to be on heavy braking because you can see people do 360-degree turns. There's no anti-skid on this aircraft. So now that the aircraft is slowed down, we'll go ahead and taxi off the runway, so we use the nose wheel steering. We'll wait to get rid of the chute here. We don't want to leave the chute on the runway. Alright, so now that we're off, we can go ahead and get rid of the chute. So the chute button goes back in, or the chute handle rather, goes back in. We'll retract the speed brakes. We'll turn off the pitot heat and make sure that the radar's in the off position. Alright, so this is going to be my normal 360-degree landing approach. Altimeter has been set, fuel balance, crossfeed is off, hydraulic pressure has been checked, engine anti-ice is as required, so I have it off. The approach, we already calculated that, it's going to be the same airspeed, 152 knots. Navigation and approach briefing has been complete. It's going to be the normal 360-degree landing approach, and external lights are set in as required. So to do this, we're just going to fly right over the runway at 300 knots, 1,500 feet above the ground, which is about 3,300 feet at Nellis. We'll start a left turn to reverse our landing course at 1,500 feet and 300 knots. We'll make sure that the thumb switch is in the auto position for the flaps. You see here I'm barely pulling back the throttle because the airspeed is going to bleed off in the turn. Just waiting to level out below 260 knots so I can put the gear down. So I'm parallel the runway right now. Below 260 knots, so gear's coming down. Adding some nose up trim here to make sure that the nose doesn't sink. Just waiting to look for my turn. Waiting for the 45-degree angle off the back of the aircraft to start my turn. I'm starting my base turn right now. And I'm in the AOA indexer of green, the green circle. I want to maintain a little bit more airspeed here than my V approach due to the fact that we're turning. So we don't want to get too slow in the turn here, so slightly fast is okay, which we are right now. Just going to level out just a little bit here. It's on my base turn. Just checking to see when I should turn final. So I'm going to go ahead and start turning in right now. You can see we're still a little slightly fast. I'm not touching any of the power settings. And I can see I'm starting to get a little slow. As you can see, the AOA indexer says we're slightly slow, so I'm adding just a little bit of power to get some of that airspeed back. As we roll out here, we're going to be a little fast, though, because of the increased lift. I'm going to go ahead and pull the power just a little bit to get down to 152 knots. Maintain centerline. Just a little slightly fast, just pull back speed just a little bit here. Coming over the threshold, starting a little slight flare here, and yeah, power's coming idle. And we have a nice touchdown there. Go ahead and deploy the chute, speed brakes. This pretty much concludes my approach and landing tutorial on the F-5. Hopefully this tutorial has helped you out, and you'll be able to land the aircraft now. And if you guys have any questions, please let me know. Thanks for watching.